In this episode of Detroit Performs, a Powerhouse vocalist. A coffee house allows people to share their stories, and an artist with a sharp edge. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver, and today I'm at the Lawrence Street Gallery here in Ferndale. This gallery is run by 28 artists and has a new exhibition each month. My favorite part, each exhibition is free and open to the public. Plus, they're pretty remarkable. I'll be talking to one of the gallery's founding members later in the show. But let's get to our first segment. Alise King is an award-winning vocalist, better known as the soulful diva, making her mark on the music scene. Get ready, because her voice is about to blow you away.
I want to love it, need to love, want to love, need to love, can't you see?
My purpose is music, and I want to live every day in my purpose. I'm a sweetheart, I don't bite, unless you want me to. And I love people, I tell people all the time, approach me. I give hugs, I love hugs. I grew up here in Detroit, Michigan. I first got into music, honestly, I didn't even know I could sing. I was about 11 years old, and I was at a family barbecue, and my aunts were known for singing, and I just accidentally tried to do what they were doing, and I was like, ooh, I can sing, you know? So from there, it became a passion of mine.
Baby, we need me, when time or any time at all.
As I grew older, I realized I am not a 9-to-5er. I am a creative, and I didn't want to keep sitting on my gift. I wanted to get out there, and I wanted to make people smile, doing what I felt I was born to do.
I feel it inside my soul, holding it into you.
Somebody said, you sing with such ease. Do you get nervous? Girl, yeah, I'm nervous all the time. Nervousness keeps me human. I'm just a girl that wants to sing. I'm just a girl with a dream. To see people having a good time, and then to see people of all colors, diversity coming together, dancing, because there's so much going on in the world right now that people are angry and people are mad, and music is bringing them together, and they're forgetting all of that, and they're having a good time together.
Let it get into you.
Today we are performing. I'm gonna give a great show. My band's gonna be here today. Shout out to the Pure Nastiness band. And we're gonna rock out. We got some good stuff coming for y'all. We outside, but it's gonna be some funky clouds in the air today with the Pure Nastiness band on the stage, I'm telling you. We're gonna do some, probably a little Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Now we've had our good times, that's what they say.
Oh, we're definitely doing Bruno Mars, honey. That is my guy right there. You can't do a festival and not do Bruno Mars.
Put your hands up, uptown, walk you up, uptown, walk you up, uptown, walk you up, uptown, walk you up.
I have a new album, a new EP coming up. It's called In the Key of Soul. It's 7 tracks, all show a different side of me vocally. I'm known as the Powerhouse vocalist. I am known as the growler. But there's a softer side to Alise. I wanted to give the fans more of the neo-soul me. Oh, trust and believe, you still get the power, honey. But I wanted to give everyone a piece of me. That's why it's called In the Key of Soul.
Working hard to make a dollar, and my dreams come true. Going hard.
To be able to put my thoughts on paper and then to bring them to life in music, it's an escape. It's a journey.
Said I know Everybody having a good time. But if you want me to, I'm gonna sing the song. My, clap your hands.
When I choose songs, whether it's cover songs or if it's a song I'm writing, I try to pick songs that I can relate to. I want to be able to relate to my audience. My job as an entertainer is to take the crowd on a roller coaster. I can be in front of a stage of 3 people and I'm gonna sing to a stadium. So you're gonna get a growl, you're gonna get some runs, you're gonna get a loud, just, you're gonna get it all.
Jamaica funk, that's what it was. Hey, to you.
I want to leave my all on the stage, and music is therapy. It's my escape, and I'm creating my freedom on stage because we go through a lot. Putting a show together is stressful. It is stressful. So by the time I get on stage, I'm releasing all of that onto the audience, and it's beautiful.
You make me happy. This you can pay.
I feel like just being me, being encouraging, being inspiring, letting people know you can do anything you set your mind to.
The only thing stopping you from doing what you want to do is you. Get out of your own way. Your fears are only as big as you believe them to be. Let them go, y'all.
Music is a 24-hour business. Once I clocked in, I have not clocked out. I take on a lot of responsibility because I am artist, booking manager, and road manager. So until I get those positions in place, I'm dealing with all of the things that come with those titles.
Come on, be my baby.
Come on.
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 I want to go wherever the stars lead me. I want to go and keep going like the Energizer Bunny, and I don't want to stop. I want to sing until I'm blue in the face, until my throat no longer works. So I want to be on the big stages, and I want to play the big arenas. But if I never get there, I am actually content and blessed to be able to do what I've done, because I got stories for grandkids to say, hey, grandma did this, and grandma did that, and I was a part of this movement and that movement. So I live every day for the moment.
I'm gonna keep on trying till I reach high.
I would say I show the world how Detroit performs when I'm on stage. If you hear that growl, that's Detroit.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Woo, woo, woo. All right, y'all.
You can learn more about Alise King as well as all the artists we feature on DetroitPerforms.org. The Bottom Line Coffee House prides itself on creating a safe space for people in the community. One of the ways they do this is by holding an open mic night. We headed over to the Bottom Line Coffee House for one of these special nights.
We're at the Bottom Line Coffee House. We're on 3rd and Prentice. We're about 3 blocks away from Wayne State. We're in what used to be called the Cass Corridor. I think one of the most radical things that we do is that we listen. We create a place where people can be themselves, where people can say what they're holding heavy on their chest. And I take pride in that.
Welcome to Open Mic at the Bottom Line. Thank you for being here. This is a full crowd. Usually people trickle in, you know, as the night goes, and we start off intimate and we maintain it intimately, but this is also I see people sitting on the curb. This is awesome. I hope you're comfortable. Guidelines for the open mic, do whatever the hell you want on stage. Don't be racist, sexist, homophobic. I will probably say something about it. I'll start with a poem.
Garden City was the kind of city we always lived on the edge of. We rolled up Swisher Sweets and cruised through its streets paved with bruised leaves and our smoky chariot, an 01 Ford Taurus with a dent on the front left bumper. Cracked white paint. It was a place like Westland and Taylor and parts of Dearborn, but not like Inkster. There, the perimeters of plazas were perpendicular with parking lots for the $5 shoe outlet, where we got our shoes for prom and some Wednesdays, and the beauty supply, where we got our fake eyelashes, those of us who had plucked them all out, like some birds do when the cage is too small. There, they had tanning salons named for their vacation destinations with their families: Palm Beach, Hawaiian, Back to the Beach, Tropic Sun, and Boca. There worked the white girls, their orange shoulders like bare branches where birds would otherwise perch. Our brown boys took them to prom instead of us. People who are not exposed to Muslim narratives, people who are not exposed to the Arab narrative, our villainization is so visible to them, but our fear is not visible. Our fear as people coming from those parts of the world, our fear for our own safety, or for our own lives, or for the lives of our loved ones, or for the fear that we have for the lives of people that we care about, or people who are from the same places as us, is completely invisible. And I think that is one of the most palpable things that I've learned, be it like after 9/11, that we even felt before 9/11, which is that our narratives are not commonly known. Our narratives are even brushed aside. Our narratives are invisibilized. And so poetry for me is a means of understanding my own story, and understanding it in a way that actually communicates not only the narrative itself, but the feeling that comes about with that narrative, or even an abstraction of that narrative into a feeling in itself, or an object of poetry in itself, hoping that I can develop a language around that to communicate that and to let it live on the page without necessarily having me be the one to have to communicate it. And it's my story. There are plenty of other stories that are out there or that need to be communicated, that I think that we need to create more environments to pull out those stories, safe spaces to be able to communicate those stories. We were the ones who moved on up to neighborhoods without train tracks tracing them like a spine, no nerve endings sprawling to abandoned homes and factories, no automobile industrial complexes with floodlights constellating them despite the smoke and its thick stink, familiar to the children in classrooms a quarter-mile away. Okay, it's almost an understatement to say that there's an enthusiasm for poetry in the Arab community or in the Arab American community. I think that there's a way that poetry has sort of like narrated our experiences. Mahmoud Darwish is a Palestinian poet whose work has been translated into, transferred into song, and those songs were sung during the wars. Those songs are like Arab national songs that give us hope. Amidst like all the crises that hit us. I mean, even in the Arab Spring, you would see videos of people during the protests who were just reciting poems in the middle of the protests. And specifically it was the words of Mahmoud Darwish. So I'm not saying that I'm necessarily following in that tradition, but I'm humble in the face of like the history of Arabic poetry. But I think poetry for me is a way for me to understand my own experiences, express them, and hope that other people will be able to connect to it. There in Garden City, where anthropologists do not roam, nor do they graze the streets to feed on awnings written in liturgical languages. There, the FBI does not look through the suitcases people carry beneath their tongues. My parents, here, 30 years, are self-taxonomized homing pigeons. I heard them in the bathroom one day, clipping each other's wings. I heard no words, only trilling and the crack of scissors on bone.
What's up, guys? So I'm here with Laura Whiteside's host, one of the founding members of the Lawrence Street Gallery. How you doing, Laura?
Great.
So tell our viewers out there, why did you start the Lawrence Street Gallery over 30 years ago?
Well, I was one of 8 people that we were summoned to go to Pontiac by a friend of mine. She had bought the Salvation Army building, and she wanted to have a gallery in it. And so she just started to get the word out, and I went with a good friend of mine and we signed up. We thought, this is great. We both had lots of paintings under our beds and behind the doors and on the walls and no place to show them. So this was like, we thought this would be a good idea.
And so what did it grow into? Because this place is phenomenal. It has so much art in here that's so diverse.
Thank you. Well, we've always been a diverse group. We, like all media, we kind of graduated and we are up to 30 members now. And that really makes it diverse. Right now we're kind of cruising, and this business plan of the cooperative unit really seems to work.
So can you describe that process and how you choose artists to be placed in here?
People apply with images, and we have a jury committee that looks at it and feels, I think this work would fit with what's here already.
And so what type of work do you feature here then?
All kinds of painting, oil, watercolor, acrylic, mixed media, printmaking, drawings, ceramic, sculpture, wood. We have a couple wood turners, jewelry. I'm going to forget something. Photography.
Okay.
Photography.
So one of my favorite parts is you have a new exhibition each month.
Why
is that?
If we have new work every month, people come in. The more people that come in, the more our art's seen. Hopefully some of it will go out to, find a new home. We try to encourage area artists to be working and to get a body of work together, which is part of the business of being an artist.
Absolutely. So what's the demographic been like in this place? What's the audiences been like, the responses?
Most of the time they probably know one or two of the artists, so they're anxious to see their friends work and support them. And we have people come in every month because they want to see what's up on the wall. And I like to think of it as an art fair indoor, and there's all sorts of artists here. So it's not just one or two people's work. It could appeal to anyone. So we try to be as welcoming and as warm as we can. And we hope to have people have fun.
Okay, I like to hear that. So one final question,
All right.
Laura. What's the best part about being one of the founding members of the Lawrence Street Gallery?
I have a lot of pride. I've met so many amazing people that have come through. And it's just wonderful to work with a lot of creative minds. Some things are pretty wacky, but that keeps it light.
Well, artists can be wacky.
Artists can be wacky.
But Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here at Detroit Performs. We appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. All right, guys, let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around the D. Anna Skibska studied architecture, fine arts, and painting, but it was her work with glass that she describes as storytelling. Up next, we learn more about her approach in an exhibition titled Reveries.
I am Anna Skibska. My profession, I'm an artist. I'm a storyteller. I am telling a story about the landscape of America, the distant horizon of the inland, the beautiful and big sky of Montana. I understood that this is the light, which doesn't have any connection with the water. That's the light of the earth. So that's what I made for this exhibition, here in the heart of America. I present also trees, following the architecture of this hall, exhibition hall. At first, what you see is a column, and then the trees follow the vertical direction. They support the sky.
The fact that we're using glass is something that we're getting a lot of interest in, because this is something that we don't often do as well, an entire installation of glass like this. What's interesting about the glass is that they're sturdier than you think, and that's what's really fun about her work, is that it has this dichotomy of massive but also fragile, ethereal but weighty at the same time. When she does her trees, they look almost like they're going to fall over. The way they have sort of their collapse at the bottom, she creates an optical illusion where they have a sense of sort of a fearsomeness that they're going to sort of tip, of course, but they're not. They're very stable. And so it's really fun that she has this, able to create this lightness and heaviness at the same time.
And sometimes I soften the environment, sometimes I emphasize the main features of the environment, sometimes I make that more open, bring that closer.
When you first enter the gallery, it's quite dark. And sort of having that coming out of the dark into the light experience. And it's what's really interesting about this whole installation, is that it actually has sort of an implied narrative that you move from environment to environment to environment. It has links where you can actually have a sort of a visual story that you can follow, or you can experience each piece individually. I talk about the fact that she has this narrative and she has this clear sense of purpose in what she's doing, but she also has a sense that this art is her life. And one of our volunteers asked her, how long does it take to make this? And she said, how long does it take? It takes my whole life, because it really is her. And so it's wonderful that she has that sort of artistic spark and artistic inspiration, that this is who she is, that there's no way she could do anything else. But she also has the academic and the theoretical approach to developing a clear and concise artistic goal.
Always afraid that I am destroy the chaos, because chaos was the order before the order was invented. So there's always, always the contrast, always the two different sides, the lightness and the darkness, the shadows and the light.
It's actually light, not glass. That's the medium. You really get a sense of that. It has this expansive properties that when you see a piece of her work not lit and not having the proper lighting on it, and then you add light to it, it creates a sense of volume and it almost grows. It has a life of its own. So it's really this concept of this relationship that you have between yourself and the piece of art, and the relationship the work has itself with the light and the glass.
I was hungry to get on the other side, to discover my America, because it was so promising. I saw how open, I saw how youthful and powerful it was. So I am following, I am still learning, but I am here.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Reforms. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitReforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank the Lawrence Street Gallery for having us out here today. I'm going to have to come back next month and see what exhibition they come up with then. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.